Hi dear students, this is Dr. Mamta Chava, your microbiology faculty. I welcome you all to episode 6 of the NEET PG 24 Microbiology Recall series, wherein in one episode or video I am discussing one microbiology MCQ which was asked in the NEET PG 24 exam. I hope you have checked out the previous 5 episodes as well. So let's start with this very episode. The question goes like this. A sexually active female presented with pelvic pain, dysuria and an abnormal foul smelling vaginal discharge. What can be the likely cause? This was asked in paper 1. The options of this question include trichomoniasis, CMV infection, HPV infection and HSV infection. Now, foul smelling vaginal discharge is mentioned, which is not seen in case of CMV or HPV or HSV. The answer straightforward over here is trichomoniasis. Now, guys, trichomoniasis is caused by the parasite Trichomonas vaginalis. Now, what kind of parasite it is? It is, remember, it is a protozoan parasite and it is flagellated. It causes STI. It's designated as a genital flagellate. Okay, it's a genital flagellate, it's a protozoan, and all protozoa are unicellular organisms. And I have highlighted the alphabet T of Trichomonas, which serves as a reminder for one more MCQ asked regarding this organism, which is trophozoite is the only morphological stage seen in this particular protozoan. There is no cyst stage seen. So trophozoite only is seen. There is no cyst stage, and this has been asked very commonly as an MCQ, both in INICT as well as NEET PG. Now, the disease which this organism causes is an STI, sexually transmitted infection, namely trichomoniasis. All right. Now, trichomoniasis is the most common parasitic cause of sexually transmitted infections. So, it's pretty important to know about this parasite. And as far as female and male involvement is concerned, remember the species name of this organism has got vagina, which serves as a reminder for us that females are, more commonly affected than males. Now, guys, in case of gonococcal urethritis, which is caused by Neisseria gonorrhoeae, and non-gonococcal urethritis, which is most commonly caused by the serovars D2K of Chlamydia trachomatis, it is the females who are usually asymptomatic and males are generally symptomatic. In contrast to those two conditions, in this very condition, that is in trichomoniasis, it is the females who are usually symptomatic and males are generally asymptomatic. So please remember this important point of distinction between all these disease entities. Now, talking about the trophozoite stage of this organism, that is Trichomonas vaginalis, as I said, cyst is not seen at all. Now, if we look at this organism's trophozoite, this is a schematic representation, by the way, and I had posted long back this same picture on my Insta handle also, and the link of the same post I shall share in the description of this video. Do check it out. Now, remember, the trophozoite of Trichomonas vaginalis can be remembered as the tricky Mona Lisa. Now, what do we mean by it? Now, tricky simply reminds us of trichomonas. Mona serves as a reminder for mono. So remember, it has got just one nucleus or mono-eye. Now, it has got total 5 flagella, of which 2 pairs are present as the anterior flagella, and there's one sideways flagellum, which is referred to as the undulating, membrane. So imagine this is some lady. The lady's name is Tricky Mona Lisa. It has got just one eye. That is, there's just one nucleus, and the lady is donning a scarf. Okay, undulating scarf is the name of the scarf. So that serves as a reminder of the undulating membrane, which is nothing but the 5th flagellum, which traverses along the side along the side of this trophozoite, and it doesn't come out from the anterior end, in contrast to the other two pairs of flagella. Now remember, a characteristic feature of this infection is the greenish, itchy, frothy, foul-smelling vaginal discharge. But remember, the greenish discharge is not seen that commonly. More commonly, the discharge is purulent. But generally, in MCQs, greenish word is mentioned. So do remember, greenish vaginal discharge का एक important cause क्या है? Trichomoniasis. And there is no cyst stage. And also remember, The undulating membrane is also referred to as what? The recurrent flagellum, क्योंकि ये side से बाहर निकलता है, anteriorly नहीं आता है, right? Then the other things which are there in this trophozoite are the food vacuoles. Some are empty, some are filled with bacteria. Then siderophoric granules are there. Now, as far as the male and female involvement is concerned, remember in females, this organism resides in the vagina and urethra, and in males, it resides in urethra, seminal vesicles, and prostate. Now, guys, this is an actual picture of the trophozoite. Look at this. These are the Giemsa stained trophozoites. Two trophozoites of Trichomonas vaginalis obtained from in vitro culture stained with Giemsa. You can see there's just one nucleus, and even though this picture is a little blurred, I hope you're able to appreciate, these very thin lines which are representative of the flagella. Please don't confuse this with the Giardia, which clearly has got, two nuclei. The trophozoite of Giardia, if it is seen from the front, it has got two nuclei. And it has got 4 pairs of flagella, and that is why the trophozoite of Giardia lamblia or Giardia intestinalis is referred to as the grand old man of the intestine also, because of the beard like appearance of the trophozoite, because there are 4 pairs of flagella and there are 2 nuclei. Now, talking about the clinical features, remember 25 to 50% of the infected individuals are actually asymptomatic. There are not going to be any signs and symptoms in a major chunk of the infected people. In those who do develop symptoms, the symptoms are those of vulvovaginitis, the incubation period of which is 4 to 28 days. So it is as diverse as 4 to 28 days. And in acute infection, the female is going to have vaginal discharge, which is usually purulent, profuse, and foul smelling. And in 10% of the cases, the discharge may be frothy also, and it can be greenish in color. Please remember this. Then look at this, guys. So this is a very good picture of trichomoniasis caused by this organism, and you can notice the frothy discharge and punctate strawberry lesions on the cervix. Now, the strawberry cervix, or also referred to as colpitis macularis, it is typical of this disease, and it is seen in 2% of the symptomatic people. It is nothing but the presence of punctate hemorrhages seen on the ectocervix and vagina. Then, what are the other features? The other features include dysuria and lower abdominal pain. And in males, the features are going to be of non-gonococcal urethritis. Remember, at the onset of this video module, I mentioned that in trichomoniasis, it is the females who are more commonly symptomatic in contrast to males who are asymptomatic, which is in contrast to the gonococcal urethritis caused by gonococcus, and non-gonococcal urethritis, the most common cause of which is serovars D to K of Chlamydia trachomatis. Now, rarely in males, there could be penile ulcerations, epididymitis, and prostatitis. Now, some people may end up with chronic infection, in which case there is going to be scanty vaginal discharge, which is usually mixed with mucus, and there could be pruritus and pain during coitus. Now, coming to the lab diagnosis of trichomoniasis, remember, guys, wet mount, that is saline mount, can be done, but the sensitivity of this is pretty variable, just being 40 to 80%, and the wet mount is done to see the motility. Remember, this organism has got 2 pairs of anterior flagella and one sidewards flagellum, which is referred to as the undulating membrane. So remember, this organism's anterior end is more motile than the posterior end, which gives rise to what is known as twitching motility or wobbling motility, also known as jerky motility. Then, Giemsa and Pap stains are the examples of permanent stains which can be used to stain the trophozoites. Okay. Now, one more thing, guys. Look at this schematic representation of the trophozoite of Trichomonas vaginalis. Now, what shape is it? It has got, the shape is described as pear shaped or pyriform shaped, pyriform or pear shaped it is, and it measures 7 to 23 microns by 5 to 15 microns. Okay, motility already I have told you. Then guys, acrid and orange fluorescent stain can also be done, which is rapid and more sensitive than the wet mount. DFA, that is direct fluorescent antibody test, can also be done, wherein fluorochrome tagged monoclonal antibodies are used to detect the antigens present on the trophozoites. Now this has got much better sensitivity than the wet mount, that is the sensitivity ranging between 70 to 90%. Okay, then culture is said to be the gold standard method of diagnosis, and the following culture media can be used: cysteine peptone liver maltose, that is CPLM medium. This is frequently asked as an MCQ. Then McCoy's cell line can also be used. Then Lash cysteine hydrolysate serum medium is another medium. And then remember one more: diamond streptocase yeast maltose medium. Most commonly regarding the names of the culture medium, this particular medium, the first one which I have written, CPLM medium, this is usually asked, so please remember this one. Now, as far as culture is concerned, if facilities are available, an apparatus known as the in-pouch TV can be used. Now, this particular apparatus has got a chamber which can be used for the incubation. Okay, there's a chamber which can be used for transportation of the specimen, and there's also a slide for mounting the trophozoites. So this is how the in-pouch TV looks like. Then guys, what else can we do to make a diagnosis? Antigen detection can be done in vaginal secretions, which is rapid, easy to do, and it indicates, if positive, it indicates acute infection. So we have got two ways to do it. The rapid test, which gives results in just 10 to 15 minutes, is the immunochromatographic test, that is ICT, and a little more time consuming is ELISA. Antibody detection can also be done, but the antibodies are going to persist for a long period of time. So antibody detection is really not going to help us distinguish between current and past infection. Then PCR facility also is available, which targets the beta tubulin genes present in the trophozoid. Then VIF amine test is positive, wherein the vaginal discharge is mixed with 10% KOH, and if at all there is appreciation of a fishy odor, it is designated as a positive with amine test. Then also another test is increased vaginal pH, that is vaginal pH is altered in this condition, it becomes more than 4.5, but the vaginal pH is also increased in case of bacterial vaginosis, which by the way I have discussed in one of the previous episodes. There was a question on bacterial vaginosis also in this NEET PG, that is NEET PG 24. Do check it out. Okay, and also remember, the vaginal pH is not altered in vaginal candidiasis. Now, coming to the drug of choice, it is metronidazole or tinidazole, given in a dose of 2 grams, single oral dose, and it is important to treat both the partners. So that's about this episode, guys. I hope you're liking this series. If you have any kind of doubts regarding this question or any other doubt regarding the previous episodes, do let me know in the comment section. And a humble request to all of you to please hit the like button in case you like this video. Subscribe to the channel, smash the bell icon for notifications for my future videos, and please share it with your friends, seniors, juniors, so that more and more students can be benefited from this series. Thank you, study well, and God bless.